So here we are going to discuss about the alternating current. The alternating current whenever an alternating EMF is connected to a circuit, the circuit becomes is called as an AC circuit. Okay, in this AC circuit there exist components such as the resistors, capacitors, or inductors, which are connected in combination or of these elements. Okay, so whenever the EMF and the current, okay, both are in phase in this alternating current, both are in same in the same frequency in this alternating current, and what changes is their phase. Okay, and the phase changes with respect to what elements which we are using, whether it is a resistor, whether it is a conductor, whether it is an inductor, or whether it is a capacitor. Okay, so first we'll start with this AC circuit by using with the resistor. So here we consider a resistor of resistance R, which is connected to a source, and this is a source which is having the EMF or voltage as given, that is E equals to E0 sine omega t. So after solving this, we get that the current maximum to be I is equals to I0 sine omega t, where this E0 and I0 will be the peak values for the voltage and the current, okay, respectively. That is the EMF and the current, we are getting the peak value. So if we draw a graph of this, we don't see any lead or lag behind in the current or the voltage, that is both of them they run simultaneously. So if we draw a graph of the t against this theta, against the angle, and with respect to the time t and the angle, we get that the maximum value of the current over here is called as the peak value. Where it reaches maximum, it again starts coming down. Again for the voltage, here we call it as the E0, where it reaches high and it again comes back, so that is called as the peak current and the peak voltage. Okay, so here in this circuit, both the current and the voltage are moving in phase and are in the same frequency, and they are moving in phase to each other. Okay, as a result, we don't see any lead or lag between them. Next thing what comes is the root mean square velocity. Now here, uh, for the root mean, okay, so root mean square velocity in this AC circuit with the resistors, what we have, we have these two equations, that is E equals to E0 sine omega t and I equals to I0 sine omega t. So at the end of every half cycle out here, the alternating EMF and the current reverses its direction. Okay, that is after completing every half cycle, the current and the voltage, it reverses its direction. As a result, after one complete for total rotation, one cycle, the current or the EMF, it becomes total zero. Okay, so the only mean to measure this thing is only we can produce whenever the current flows through a conductor, heat is generated. Okay, so by the means of heat generation, we can let know the amount of the current which has been produced. So the next part is the root mean square value. Okay, so the root mean square value can be for the current and for the voltage. So what happens basically is, when we are talking about the AC circuits in resistors, we have these two equations: E equals to E0 sine omega t, I equals to I0 sine omega t. So after end of every half cycle, the current and the voltage, they reverses the direction, as a result of which after every complete full cycle, the current or the voltage, it becomes zero. Now if we take a DC voltmeter or an ammeter to measure the current, it will not show any constant reading. Okay, hence in order to take some proper readings, we need to make use of certain different property, and this property is nothing but called as the heating effect. Okay, where we need to produce the same heat as this AC current is producing. So what we'll do here is, we will the amount of heat which has been produced inside this resistor by this AC current in a certain time t, same amount of heat in same amount of time we will be producing using a steady current. Okay, and that current is will be called as the root mean square value of the alternating current or of the EMF. Okay, so this the relation of this root mean square value for the current with respect to its peak value, and the voltage or the EMF with respect to its peak value, is given by I equals to IRMS equals to I naught upon root 2, and VRMS equals to V naught upon root 2. So this is the formula which is very important if we need to convert its peak value, the voltage or the current, into its root mean square value. We will going to go through is an AC current which is passing through a pure inductor of inductance L, and the AC current through a capacitance C. Okay, So now firstly we earlier we studied about the AC about the opposition which is offered by a resistance to an alternating current. Now here we are going to study the opposition offered by a pure inductor and a capacitor, and that in that opposition we called it as the reactance. Okay. So in such a circuit, so we have an inductor and which has been connected to a alternating EMF. Okay. And this I upon I equals to I0 sine omega t is the current which is flowing through this inductor. So as a result of opposition, this inductor produces a back EMF. Okay. And this back EMF plus using Kirchhoff's law, we can the EMF which is generated plus the back EMF will give you a zero answer. So in after we go on solving that, when we'll come to a value where we'll get the EMF to be E equals to E0 sine omega t plus pi by 2. So the current equation is I equals to I0 sine omega t, and the voltage equation is E equals to E0 sine omega t plus pi by 2. That means here the voltage, the EMF is leading the current by a factor of 90, that is pi by 2. So if this is my current and this is my EMF, that means my EMF is leading by a factor of pi by 2. Okay, and they are both are in the same frequency. Just the thing is they are the EMF leads by the phase difference pi by 2, or else we can say that the current lags by the phase difference of pi by 2. Next we find the inductance, inductive reactance of this capacitor, that is the power to resist this amount of AC current, that is called as the inductive reactance, that is given by X of L, which is equals to omega L, where omega is called as 2 pi f. Omega is 2 pi f multiplied by L. L is called as the coefficient of inductance. Okay, and it is given by this formula. Okay, next is the AC current through a capacitor, that is the C. A capacitor of capacitance C is connected to this AC circuit, and here you can see that a voltage of E equals to E0 sine omega t is applied to the two plates of the capacitor. So as a result, a charge has been the charge which has been stored, that is on this on one plate, let it be Q, and the potential difference which is applied on both the ends of the charge will be given by V equals to Q upon C, where V again we have E, and if we then afterwards we need to differentiate this equation with respect to time, and we'll come to a final equation of I equals to I0 sine omega t plus pi by 2. So if we look into both these equations, what we get is here the current is the current or the EMF here is it lags behind by the current by a angular difference of pi by 2, or the current leads by a current leads by an angle of pi by 2 radians. Okay, so next thing we have is the capacitive reactance, that is denoted by Xc, which is again equals to 1 upon omega c, where omega is again a value of 2 pi f. Okay, next we are going to study the AC, the alternating current through through a circuit which is having inductor, capacitor and resistance which are connected in series through it. Okay, so earlier we have studied when an AC connected to a resistance or capacitors or or a resistor individually. So now we have all the three together in one. So we have a phasor diagram representing the what happens when the current is passing through this inductor, capacitor or reactance, resistors. So earlier we knew that whenever we have a capacitor connected to this AC circuit, the current leads and the voltage it lags, the EMF lags, so as a result it is showing it going downwards. Next, whenever we have an inductor with respect to the current, that means the current and the EMF leads and the current lags behind. That is why we have a leading in EMF that is going upwards 90 degree. Here it is in the negative direction. And for the resistance, we have that the resistance, in this resistance the EMF and the current both are running simultaneously to each other. So that is why both are going in positive direction with each other. Okay, so we after solving this, we finally come after taking the voltages across voltages EL, EC and ER. We know that EL which is equals to I into R, V equals to IR, again EC which is equals to I into XL, where this is the inductive reactance, and EL which is equals to EL is equals to IXL, and EC is equals to I X C, where this is the capacitive reactance, where is I is the current and R is the capacitive XC, that R equals to XC, that means it is the capacitive reactance. Okay, so we have this equation. When we put these equations from the phasor diagram, we finally come to a result that is equals to Z, which is equals to R square plus XL minus XC, where Z is called as the impedance. Z is supposed to be defined as the ratio of this RMS voltage to the RMS value of the current. Okay, it is known as the impedance, and it is measured in ohms. Okay, then the next main thing we come from the phasor diagram is the phi, the angle which this current makes with this EMF E, and that phi is given by a tan of phi, which is equals to x of L minus x of C upon the resistance. Okay, so you can find this phi by this using this equation. Now if any of these three components is absent, then what? Like if the capacitor is absent, then it becomes an LR circuit. If the inductor is absent, it becomes an RC circuit. Okay, so and in at that time the Z is equals to R square plus XL, and if the inductor is absent, it becomes equals to R square plus X of C square. Okay, now we find the power in this AC circuit. So power in the AC circuit, the resistance, and then the power in the LCR circuit entirely. So first we talking about the power in the resistance circuit. So there is a resistor which is connected in a through an alternate to an AC EMF, and there is this voltage E equals to E0 sine omega t. So we all know that whenever a resistance is connected, both the current and the EMF both are in phase, and they are having the same frequency. So as a result, the power which is generated, it is the average power which is generated, it gives you a value of ERMS multiplied by the IRMS, that is the RMS value of the voltage multiplied by the RMS value of the current. Next we have the power. We are talking about the power which is there in the LCR circuit. LCR circuit, here is your L, here is your C, here is your R. All the three are connected in series with this alternating EMF. Okay, so here E equals to E0 sine omega t. Okay, now whenever whenever in this circuit there is a phase difference created, which is there, which is 5. Okay, as we have seen earlier, there is a phase difference 5 in the phasor diagram. So phase difference 5 is applied between this there is a phase difference 5 between the EMF which is applied and the current. So between I and E there is a 5 phase difference, which has been again put in the equation, and we get that the average power, it depends upon the ERMS multiplied by the IRMS multiplied by cos phi, where this cos phi is called as the power factor, and it depends on R upon Z, where R is the resistance and Z will be the impedance. Okay, R is the resistance and Z will be the impedance. Next we come to the resonant circuits. Now resonant circuits is whenever this AC currents, AC circuits are connected to inductor and a capacitor, the AC frequency whenever the AC frequency is gradually changed. Okay, and then at a certain particular frequency, the impedance, it becomes maximum or it becomes minimum. Okay, and such conditions are called resonance conditions, and their circuit is called as a resonance circuit. So here we have a resonance series combination of circuit, that is L, C, R, in which we have all the three components, like inductance, capacitor, and a resistor. So we already know that the impedance is given by the equation R square plus XL minus XC square. So in terms of its frequency, we have XL is given as 1 upon omega L minus XC is given as 1 upon omega C. So here the impedance, which is Z, it varies with the frequency. Okay, and frequency of the applied EMF. Now if the frequency of the EMF is changed, okay, adjusted, or at a particular frequency it will happen, so that the XL will be equals to this XC. Okay, and this impedance will be equals to the resistance, and the circuit behaves like a purely resistive circuit, that is the current will become maximum and the impedance will become minimum. Okay, and there we say there is a resonance inside the circuit. So we are talking about the resonance frequency, that is in this resonance circuit, there when we change the frequency at a particular frequency, the circuit becomes a resonance circuit. Okay, and that is a circuit having an inductance and a capacitance. So it can be only resonance in resonance only for a particular frequency, and that frequency happens to be only when the current is becomes maximum. So if we draw a resonance curve, this is called as a series resonance curve, a particular frequency where the current becomes maximum, that frequency is called as the resonance frequency. Okay, that's the conditions what we have is here the inductive reactance and the capacitive reactance both becomes equal, that is omega L equals to 1 upon omega C. If we solve this, the omega goes there, it becomes omega square equals to 1 upon LC. Omega has a value of 2 pi f, so squaring that it becomes, the f is your frequency, resonance frequency, so Fr equals to 1 upon 2 pi under root L by C. So this is the equation for finding the resonant frequency. Okay, and this curve is called as the series resonance curve.